Did Joker 2 flop? Critics' first takes, negative reviews, and the musical controversy. Folks, did you know Joker Folie didn't hit critics like the first one did? Despite lukewarm press, Venice festival crowds loved it. What's behind these split opinions? The full answer might shock you. We'll dive in today. First off, comment if you think Gaga's Harley will top Margot's. Spicy, right? Another hot take. Should Joker 1 have gotten a sequel? Let's keep this chat going in the comments. Like share on WhatsApp and Telegram to keep your crew in the loop deal. Let's roll on. Todd Phillips returns to direct the sequel, with Joaquin Phoenix reprising his role as DC's iconic villain after 2019's billion-dollar success. The first Joker was a global phenomenon, raking in over $1 billion at the box office. Excitement for the sequel grew with Lady Gaga joining as Harley Quinn, a role previously played by Margot Robbie or Barbie, plus the addition of musical numbers. Despite its star power, critics were deeply divided on the film. As I'm recording this, it's at 60% on Rotten Tomatoes and 54% on Metacritic, indicating a much cooler reception than its predecessor. Critics described it as bland and overly cautious. However, it's not all negative. Those who enjoyed it praised the lead's romance and the performances. Now, will Brazilian audiences agree with these criticisms, or will Joker 2 once again defy expectations and become a box office hit? Wow, I'm on the G1 website. Let's check out the reviews. What's our plan now? I'll read and share my thoughts. Meanwhile, you guys comment with your opinions, okay? Let's discuss. Here we go. Vanity Fair says it's surprisingly dull, a pointless episodic film that seems to mock its audience. Well, that's definitely a negative review. So what do I think? This film only exists because the first one made billions. Money talk, especially since the director Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix said there'd be no sequel. The first film had a clear beginning, middle, and end, period. And now they're making a second one? It's all about the money. Naturally, they aimed for innovation like in the first film with the musical element we'll discuss, but it wasn't just about challenging the director or actor. Phoenix, who won an Oscar, isn't keen on sequels. That's why he's not in Gladiator 2, though he died. He could have done cameos or other sequels. He prefers standalone films. The sequel was made for money, and that's why many people are going into it with low expectations, so to speak, already skeptical. They say it's surprising and boring. Maybe they just don't like musicals, a pointless film with no connection to the first, possibly weakening it by undermining its sense of distrust. The whole narrative was a lie. It didn't really happen. It was all in the Joker's head. So he could have been in the hospital from the start of the film. We don't know. But with the second film, we end up weakening this story. Let's talk about the BBC now. This debunking exercise can be bold or annoyingly presumptuous depending on your view, but it's definitely not fun. Well, we can see that he didn't like it either. He says, depending on how you look at it, there can be positives. For example, being bold means what? It means he tried to be innovative, if you think about it that way. On the other hand, annoyingly presumptuous. I've seen reviews saying it tries to be a musical and a fanciful Joker movie at the same time. And it ends up not doing either well, failing to achieve either goal. The BBC also mentions that it's not very entertaining. Damn, the first film was more psychological horror. It sparked serious discussions, but being R-rated, you still enjoy it, even if in a slightly criminal way, right? Once again, another negative review. The BBC didn't like it. What do you think? Comment below, I want to know. Alright, let's look at Empire's review. As sweet and seductive as a musical romance between two murderous psychopaths can be, its quirky approach won't please all comic fans, but it has its own strange, tragic hope. First observation, critics love to use fancy words and speak eloquently, right? It's part of the job. Anyway, I wanted to point that out. First point, no adaptation pleases everyone, especially die-hard fans, right? It's impossible to please this type, They'll say there's never an adaptation of my favorite character, and then there is. Then it's, oh, but it doesn't follow the canon, and when it does follow the canon, they'll say it's not innovative. Well, you can't be innovative and stick to canon, can you? You either copy paste or give creative freedom to the writers and directors, right? The key is to maintain the character's essence. Both films could have been made without the Joker in the first, or Joker and Harley in the second. The first could be psychological horror, the second, an adult musical with horror elements without using famous characters. It's more about using these characters to draw in the fan base and sell tickets. But that hardcore fan base will definitely criticize it negatively, won't they? As sweet and seductive as a musical romance between two killer psychos can be, notice how this first part doesn't even mention their famous characters. They're just murderous psychopaths, so totally chill. I thought this review was a bit lukewarm, it wasn't negative. Empire just stated their viewpoint. I'd say this one's more neutral, right? Now let's check out The Hollywood Reporter. Gaga's a captivating presence, balancing affinity and obsession, lovingly giving Arthur joy and hope that makes him sing. Well, from other reviews I've read, it's actually about Harley Quinn, right? Lady Gaga likes her role. She's inspired and energizes the Joker. She completely despises Arthur Fleck, though. So here, I think the Hollywood Reporter meant Joker, not Arthur. That's how I see it anyway, which I found positive, right? She has an engaging and lively presence. It's the first time I've heard praise for Lady Gaga's character here. It's tough to play a character after Margot Robbie, isn't it? I believe 90%, 9 out of 10 people liked her character. It's just as hard for Joaquin to play Joker after The Dark Knight, right? And both won Oscars. I'm even leaving out Jared Leto's Joker, right? For heaven's sake, right? I'm talking about two Jokers who won Oscars. So they both faced huge challenges. Joaquin for sure was very well liked by fans. Opinion on Lady Gaga is somewhat divided, right? As it's a music focused film with many songs, there might even be a Lady Gaga song. I'm not sure. There were rumors, but I haven't seen any critics mention it yet. But in a musical film, the challenge is much greater for Joaquin Phoenix, who isn't a singer. Seems like she sang well. Lady Gaga's in her element as a good actress for sure, but the music's still in the mix. So she really stands out. What do you think? Comment below. The Guardian. While as loud, tiring, and often boring as the first, it's an improvement. Well, this one's kind of positive, isn't it? Sort of, right? It was negative. Positive within the negativity. He didn't like the first film. This film, though ambitious, wait, The Guardian, right? I mixed it up with Variety. Though shrill, tiring, and often boring, he hated it. He hated the first film more. So this one's less bad than the first. Pretty negative, right, folks? So far, 3 or 4 negatives in one. Okay, let's say. Let's continue. The New York Magazine. Though it's a jukebox musical with songs from Stevie Wonder to MGM classics, it's oddly bent on sucking joy from its musical numbers. Wow, that's really negative. So they used the jukebox concept, that music machine, right? They picked songs from various rhythms and different eras. It's quite diverse, could be good or bad, but it's perversely, note that word, dedicated to zapping fun from its song and dance bits. Even the part that should shine, the musical, ends up being dull and joyless. Music lovers know seeing the dance and visuals should be. That's the part that ought to be great, right? I was worried it'd be just music with no story, but it says even the musical part is bad. And to wrap up NME, Phoenix is fantastic once again as Arthur Fleck and likely as the Joker. He delivers a convincing physical performance that teeters on the edge of insanity throughout. Lady Gaga is equally impressive as Harleen, sparking palpable, insane chemistry with Phoenix. So this review was positive, right? It praised Arthur, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn, noting the music and insanity. It's the only okay review. No one called it wonderful or said it'd make 2 billion. I think it might hit 1 billion due to curiosity from the first film's success. Plus, it'll attract the musical audience. So it could make between 800 million to 1 billion, maybe 1.1 billion, something like that. But I want to know, do these reviews excite you or make you not want to see it? Or will you go anyway? I want to hear your thoughts. Remember to subscribe, like, and help grow the channel. so I can bring more videos.